Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Brandi. Thank you guys for tuning in. Today's video is going to go over some of my favorite writing resources that I like to use when I'm writing my books. All of these resources are from the same book series, and they're from the same authors. It's from the Writers Helping Writers group, and the authors of each of these resources is Angela Ackerman and Becca Puglisi. And don't know if anybody has seen these before. I'm sure you have, but if you haven't, I'll link everything down below, the website and the links to each of the books. So they're Thesauruses, and they are used for different aspects of your writing. So I'm going to show you each of the ones that I have. I think I have the whole collection. So I'll go over these with you, and just to give you kind of a heads up of what some of them about, just to share with you what I like to use with my writing. And the first one's my favorite one, and this is the Emotional Wound Thesaurus from the Writers Helping Writers group. And I love this one because I like to write tragedy. One, if not more, of my characters have emotional wounds and terrible things that they're dealing with. And I found this book incredibly grateful and incredibly helpful to go through, and I read each and every entry, and then I kind of bookmarked, as you can see, which character in which book, which wound was best fit for them. And the books are really interesting. They have a various amount of different kinds of, in this case, wounds, emotional wounds that could affect your character negatively, positively, mostly negatively. But the whole book is full of them. Here's one, being forced to keep a dark secret. And it gives you examples of what that could be. It gives you the basic needs, often compromised by the wound. It gives you so much information that if you pick a wound, then you can go ahead and develop information about your character around that. Let me find one that is, okay, here's one. This one is from a work in progress I have, and this is being unfairly blamed for someone's death. So it gives so much information about what you're going to need to craft your character with that wound, because the emotional wounds we all carry around, they affect so much, and you wouldn't really think about it. You hardly ever think about it. But when you're creating characters, especially when you're doing fiction or, you know, any kind of women's fiction, romance, even fantasy, mystery, any kind of wounding effect that something has had on your character, it makes them more relatable, because we've all been there. We've all got something in here, living in an emotionally repressed household. I know somebody out there's been there. So it helps quite a bit. This is my favorite because, like I said, I like writing a little bit of tragedy in all my stories. So this one helps quite a bit. Each book also has appendixes in the back that you can look up. They help you with the progression of your character and the progression of their emotional wound. And there are also things that you can find on their website that I'll go ahead and link below as well. So that was the Emotional Wound Thesaurus. And all of the thesauruses in this series follow the same type of format. They give you some introductory information at the beginning of the book, and then the rest of the book is just, for instance, this one, different wounds you could pick from and what information that you need regarding each individual wound and how it can affect your character and how your character can develop around that one. So that is this one. The next one is the Emotion Thesaurus. This is the first one too. I think this was actually my first one. But this one, following the same format, all the beginning pages have some information, and then it literally lists all different kinds of emotions. Like this one says confusion. And then it goes down and gives you the definition of that emotion, the physical signal of that emotion, and then It gives you internal sensations of what confusion is going to be like, mental responses, cues or of acute or long-term confusion in this case, and cues of suppressed confusion in this case. But they're all the same. So it gives you all the same physical signs, internal sensations, mental responses, and then the physical cues and such. It's a vast, I mean, the whole thing is full of them. Happiness, relief, sadness, skepticism, elation, guilt, humiliation, insecurity, everything you can think of. And the fun part about this one is when you go to their website, there's also an online version that has even more information and even more emotions than the actual hardcover book does. So you want to check that out as well. This has been hugely, hugely helpful when you're trying to really do the whole show don't tell thing. You know what I'm talking about? Don't write you don't want to write that your character felt confused. You want to show how your character is confused. And this book is without a doubt priceless in helping you with your show don't tell. Pick it up. Okay, these other two, there's other ones here. They're kind of complementary of each other, I guess. This is the negative trait thesaurus. So this one's fun. Like I said before, same format. It's got informative pages in the front kind of explaining how important it is that your character, even though you don't necessarily want them to have negative traits, they need negative traits to be relatable. But it follows the same format. So for instance, this page says abrasive. It's a negative trait, but it gives your definition. It gives similar flaws. It gives possible causes of the trait. Associated behaviors and attitudes, associated thoughts. That's going to help with creating when you're trying to develop your character. Associated emotions. And there's a whole bunch of other information in here. And some of these even give examples in modern literature or even film, so you can kind of see how that works. And like I said too, each thesaurus has in the back appendix that kind of helps you determine what your character's negative trait is going to be, what your character's emotional wound is going to be, and all of those kind of things, as well as the worksheets on the website. So that's the negative trait thesaurus. And then on the flip side, you've got the positive trait thesaurus. Because you can't have negative without positive. And as you can see, I've gone through this one and labeled what positive traits my characters have. For instance, let's pick one. Let's see. Here we go. Efficient. Several of my characters are efficient. But the same thing with efficient and with all of the entries in the positive and the negative trait thesaurus. It gives you the definition, it gives you categories, it gives you similar attributes, possible causes, associated behaviors, and a whole list of information. And then again in the back, the appendixes that help with the they're little worksheets you can either write right onto, or you can go to the website and print them out. So it'll help with character development big time, because you wouldn't really think about it, but the positive and the negative traits of each character is very important to have a well-developed, well-rounded character. The last two books I have aren't necessarily for your character, but more for your book and your plot. And these are fun. These are some of the newer ones I have, so I haven't gone through a whole lot of them. I have flagged them with my characters that I'm working with. But this one is the urban setting thesaurus, and its partner is the rule setting thesaurus. So this is fun. The rural setting thesaurus, outhouse. You never know when an outhouse is going to come up. Underground storm shelter. That's a good one. High school hallway. Information. High school hallway. I know most of us have been there, but high school hallway. I need this. I need this. But yeah, it's got all of the information and the resources you need to kind of make that place in your story really feel real and not just made up. The urban setting is more professional settings, police station, fast food restaurant, shopping mall, museum, a rec center. So it has, and it follows the same format, these both do, as the other where you have the informational stuff at the beginning of the book, and then the rest of the book is all of the particular things like hair salon, and it gives you the sights that you're going to see at a hair salon, the sounds you're going to hear at a hair salon, the smells, the taste, the textures, the sensations, everything to make your setting perfect. You know, you can say that you were at the post office, but you kind of, if it's meaning something in your book, then you want to make sure that you have the right feel and that your readers are picking up that correct feel. So these are my absolute favorite resources when writing. I sit down every time I get to start writing or start plotting, and I go through each one of these with my characters to make sure I've got the best I can possibly do, or do the best I can possibly do with making my characters well-rounded, making them realistic, making my setting realistic and relatable. So those are my favorite resources. Like I said before, I'm going to put all of the information down below. I will also let you know, on July 20th, there is a new thesaurus releasing in this Writers Helping Writers group. And it is, I don't know if you can hear that drum roll or not, but it's the occupational thesaurus. So it's going to follow the same format. You'll have your informational pages at the front, and then it's going to be lists of occupations and information about each of that occupation and why it affects your character and why they picked that occupation perhaps. It's going to be outrageous. And it's going to be priceless. I can't wait to get my hands on a physical copy. So be sure to check that out. That releases on July 22nd. You can go to their website to learn some more information. You can follow me on Instagram. I'm posting some stuff about the new occupational thesaurus because it's super exciting. But it's going to be another priceless piece in this thesaurus line, in this family of books here that are going to help you with your writing and to create the best world and the best characters you possibly can. So thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate it for you guys sticking around. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't yet, be sure to hit that subscribe button. We'll be having some more author videos coming up, as well as some planning videos. If there's anything particular you'd like to see, leave a comment down below, and I'd love to get that out to you. And again, thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye, guys.